Welcome back to Missouri River Bottom for episode 5. I'm BP, and today we're in December. Last episode, we expanded the farm with 2 production silos, had propane delivered for the corn dryer, and knocked out a few contracts. But most importantly, we paid off one of our loans. Today, we have winter field prep and may start selling our silo crops if the prices are best. Alright guys, I'm excited to get started today. I thought we'd begin with the newest piece of equipment. This is our new cultivator. We did purchase it last episode, but it was down at the store. We never picked it up. So I went and grabbed it, and this is going to help us a lot with our field prep. Not only does it cultivate, but it also mulches and plows and allows us to do all 3 of those things, or any combination of those 3 things in one pass. So let's jump in and take a quick look at what I think we're going to be working on today. We have our big cornfield here in front of us, and down behind that tree line is our soybean field that we know we have limited access to because of the new cow pen. So my thought was, in addition to plowing together our small cornfield, this one right up here on the left, we'll bring that over and connect it up top and sort of just utilize all this dead space here in the middle. I thought in addition to combining this field into our big one, we might just combine all of them and have one really big cornfield. I checked between episodes, and the area where the tree line is not in a drainage ditch, so it is flat and level all the way across. So we could remove all those trees and then plow these fields together and have one really big field that we'd plant with corn in the spring. Now, one of the interesting things is, as you can see, it's this tree line right here. Here's our soybean field from last season. We'll just take all these trees out and come down. Now, the interesting thing is, there's this additional field that wraps around our soybean field. So it connects up with the corner of our cornfield over here, and it goes all the way down and around the field. So my thought was, if we purchase this field today, we could actually plow it into, what's going to turn into one big mega field. So it comes down all the way around our soybean field. You can see there's this little connector down here, and it goes all the way across the bottom. Well, I shouldn't say all the way, most of the way across the bottom as well. So we could just add this field into our soybean field. But the problem is we'd have to buy it. And right now we have $19,000. We did have our loan payment come through overnight, and we paid that on our one existing loan, the loan that was originally $1.5 million. Yeah, as you can see down here, we could just plow these right together. This would actually work really, really well. So, as I was saying, we only have $19,000. We still have to collect the contract, the corn harvest contract from last time where we ended on field 29. That's $289,000. So let's go ahead and collect that now. And that's going to help us get us on the way to potentially being able to buy that field. The field we're looking at here is actually farmland. It's field 10. It's farmland 10. The marker's in the wrong spot, but it's this outside field around field 11. And that would enable us to bring fields 18 and 17 together and then combine 17, 11, and 10 and have this entire area inside that drainage ditch all the way up to the road along the farm as one big field. And I think with our corn dryer, which worked really well overnight, as you can see, I turned it on. We only used about 26,000 liters of propane to get through. I think it was 700,000 liters of corn. And when you dry it, you get more out of it. So we have almost 1.1 million liters of dried corn ready to sell when the price is right. So I think corn is definitely going to be a big focus for us on this map. As far as field 10 goes, adding it to increase the size of that cornfield, it is $444,000. Currently, we're getting a contract discount from Katie of about 20%, so just under $90,000. So it's going to be about a $360,000 purchase with that discount to get that. We're not quite there yet. So I'm wondering if we should take a look at the contracts and see if there's anything going on that we might want to pick up that might help boost our cash just a little bit to get us going. And right now, none of those contracts look like they're going to bring in enough money to be worth grabbing, at least this early in the day. If you guys remember, we're only allowed to use to have 3 contracts a day in the first year, and then it actually goes down from there. So just grabbing a contract now could put us in a position where we can't take a bigger contract later. So right now, let's take this tractor back up and let's start combining fields. I think it was 17 and 18. Let's take a look. Yeah, 17 and 18. Let's get those combined and get those plowed up and cultivated and mulched and ready for next season. Then we can check and see what comes up in the contracts and if we get a better option. A couple of upkeep items while we're getting set up here. I did go back and pick up one more limousine calf yesterday. If you guys remember, we did have one Angus calf get lost in our cattle trailer and was not unloaded with the rest of them in one of the earlier episodes. So we were only able to purchase 99 calves yesterday, and I didn't feel good about that. I wanted to have a nice even numbers, so I went ahead, ran back, grabbed one limousine calf, so we have 100 Angus calves and 100 limousine calves as well. So that is, we're all set there. And I did get the lime into the lime production, so we're all set there. And I actually got the cow barn full of straw from that last corn contract. It holds 2 million liters of straw, so that's all in there and ready to go. So our calves have some nice warm soft bedding for the winter, and we'll continue to monitor their grass and hay for the rest of the winter to make sure that they have as much food as they need. So the question is, when I did this earlier with a cow barn, we did have to paint over the ground first to get it to take. There's something about this common ground that doesn't want to plow and cultivate. So if you look on the bottom of the controls there, we are set up to mulch, but I think we want to be doing all 3 functions. So control Y, and we're going to get this set up as a plow, a cultivator, and a mulcher. Then we're going to use the cultivator create fields mod, turn that on, and we should be, once it registers, it takes just a second here for the game to realize it's doing all 3 things. We should be able to drag this down and start creating our new field and tying these together. This is actually working really, really well. So I think we're going to come down here. We want to continue along the edge of the farm here, make this field just as big as possible so we can get as much corn out of it. And I think up here we're going to start trailing it in. We want to have a nice soft corner here for the harvester later. You know, having smooth corners helps your harvester run faster and easier. You tend to miss less crop. So we try to have everything be sweeping corners whenever possible. So that part is connected. And we're going to swing back up here. And now we need to get this middle section. We'll draw this line up, and then we'll come across the top and connect those up there. Once these fields are connected, we got a little bit of grass to do down at the bottom to get pulled up. But once they're connected, we can actually set this on a worker. We'll turn off create field, obviously, but we'll get him going on the whole thing because the whole field needs mulched and cultivated and plowed because we did have corn in it. We want to have the best yield increase we can for next season. So let's go ahead. This field's all the way up to the road. I'm not sure we want to keep that line all the way across, but we'll get pretty close. Drop it down. I'm wondering, maybe we come all the way across the top of this one. Get it a little closer to the road. Help smooth it out. The other thing is you can see is that we're going to get some stones in the field for doing all this work, which is actually great. We'll come back through. I'll hook up the doits to the stone picker. Oh, let's see if we can get in and out of the water here. Gotta love the Fendt. Great tractor. We'll hook up the doits to the stone picker once we're done doing the whole field, and we will pull all the stones off and put them in our lime production. And we already have a ton of lime, but we'll be well set for that for the rest of the playthrough. Alright, so here we've already come across. Let's go ahead and drop this down. Gonna grab this little area in here, and then I think there's a little sliver going down the area between the two fields, down by the shed. And I do want to take a pass down the far side of this field, because there's a pretty big gap between this field and the drainage ditch on that far side. I think we can widen the field over there as well and just get a little more out of it. So I think that's all of the grass on this side along the edge. We got one strip up here at the top, then we'll run down the left hand side of the field, make sure we're as wide and far out to that ditch as we can be, and we'll set this guy on a worker to do the rest. So here we are, and the dead grass that's left over, when that's planted in the spring, all that's going to go away, so we don't need to worry about how it's rendering right now. Not a big deal. So last pass on this side, making sure the field is just as wide as we can get it. I don't want to risk the harvester going in to the water, but as you can see, there's a pretty big space coming up here, and I think we just drop this down and start sweeping this out towards the edge and run this down and make it in a nice smooth wide edge. We're going to gain almost 2 passes with that harvester here, the thickest part. So we've increased the size of this field pretty substantially. And for right now, I'm going to end this like we're not going to connect that other field, just in case the money doesn't come through, so we're not stuck with a field that we can't work with. All right. That guy is all set. I do think we want to come in here real quick. And I just got a little bit far out with that last pass. Let's go ahead and drop some grass in here. I don't think we want to be quite all the way out here, so just fill in this edge just a little bit. Throw some grass down in there. Plant it back in. And that is good to go. I think our last pass here should be coming back up to the top and getting this little strip in between. I think that's a good new edge to the field. Certainly give us plenty of space for that drainage ditch there, and also increase our field size, so we're maximizing the land we own and the harvest we're getting. It is interesting with the snow here in November. It's a little hard to see some of the lines. Maybe that'll pass as time continues. I think we had, yeah, just a sliver left right here. So let's grab that. And that is all done. Great. So now we'll turn off complete or allow create fields. We'll set this guy up right in this area here. That ended up being a bit more of a project than I anticipated. Had to actually go back and paint over that common ground between the fields and then re-plow it in order to have the horseplay recognize it as one field. So we're all set now. Got to do a little cleanup on the corners like this one here where things don't quite line up. But in general, we are in good shape. Going to get this guy set and working. I actually may just fix this right now. Just soften this edge up just a little bit. Perfect. And set him back to work. Now, with this guy running, he's going to go ahead and get this entire field plowed and mulched and cultivated for us. While he's doing that, I want to take a look at the contracts. So let's pop out and see what's come up. Oh, we have a couple of good contracts here. So we've got 112,000 for cultivating, 266 over on field 29. That's the field we harvested the corn on. That's a big field, and it's nice. That actually comes with a case and a summer's cultivator for 575. So we could rent that and send him out. We do have a $105,000 plowing contract, and the wood transporter. Those contracts are just never good for us. They don't bring in enough money. So maybe we snag this cultivating contract. We could also use him on field 14 when he's done. So let's lease this equipment on field 29. Let's grab the contract on field 14. And I think it makes sense to... Field 13's right next to the farm. That Deutz doesn't do a great job pulling that huge plow we have. But I think if it's just next door, we don't have to go very far. We could set him up on that one and get him going. So I think we accept that. And those are going to be our 3 contracts for the day. So we've got 2 cultivating contracts and a plowing contract. So I'm going to jump back out. Let's run down to the shop and grab that quad track. I am a fan of quad tracks. We may have to pick one up here eventually, but right now we'll just enjoy the one that we're going to lease for this contract. And once he's connected, take a quick look at the map and let's figure out which of those 2 contracts are closer. 29's north of the farm, and 14 is going to be over next to 13 next to the farm. So let's just head up and let's send him to waypoint 29 here and get him started. While he's doing that, I'm going to jump back over and get in the Deutz, which should be parked right in here. And let's get him set up for that plowing contract. As I said, I think he's a little on the light side for the contract, but it's just next door. We've got all day to do it, and then we can sort of connect and figure out what we're going to do while all those contracts are running or all those workers are running. So here we are. Grab this guy. Okay, get him off the ground. It is one of the mods I like to play with. There's a mod, I'm not sure what's the exact name, no pickup maybe, and it means that when you open or when you connect to an implement, it doesn't automatically pick it up off the ground. So just like in real life, there is, or at least there was, a mod for Farm Sim 22 that was manual connect. You had to get out and do the hoses. I'd like to see that come back for Farm Sim 25. It'd be nice to run those 2 mods, so you back up, you get out of the tractor, connect everything up manually, and then you can lift it off the ground. Just a little bit of realism in the gameplay. I don't like to play too realistic. I like high-speed mods and high-capacity mods, but some of the actual, farming nuances and details are fun to have in your gameplay. So he's on the field now. We're going to make this real easy. We're going to do 2 headlands and make all the corners rounded. Grab a course for him and send him on his way. So hopefully between the weighted tires and the front weight, he'll be good to go. Get that contract all knocked let's run over and check on the Fent, who's got our multi-cultivator running. Doing a great job working around the edges. This is going to be a nice big field when we're done. I think we're going to increase our yield on corn quite a bit. Once we have that case set up on the other contract, I'm wondering maybe we should run down between the two fields and start cutting those trees down, and then we can get this guy to connect those fields at the end, because we're going to have the funds to buy, was it field 10 or field 11? We own one and we need to buy the other one. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, we own 11. We need to buy 10. So I think if we get the trees cleared out in this area between the two fields, and by that time we'll have the funds to purchase field 10, and we might even, did any of those contracts come from Kate? No, of course not. We could have gotten an extra discount on the property there. And then we plow those all together at the end of the day. I think that'll put us in a really good spot. So I'm going to jump over and figure out where the case is on its way to field 29. Should be right here. Oh, perfect. We can actually just jump out of the fence and jump right into the case. So a couple other items that I was looking at for today. It's early, it's still December, and corn doesn't go in until the spring, but we don't have any seed, and we don't have any fertilizer for that Kinsey planter. The production silo we put in last episode does give us the ability to produce seed. We can do it using corn and fertilizer. We can do it with corn and slurry. We can do it with wheat and fertilizer, solid fertilizer, I should say, and wheat and slurry. I was thinking we would grab some corn from our corn dryer, but it finished all of that corn overnight, all 1.1 million liters there. So we don't have any of that, but we do have, we don't have any wheat either. So we're going to have to purchase some seeds. I guess I didn't get to that in time, but I was hoping to be able to produce our own seeds on the farm and not have to buy them. But I don't think it's a big deal if we have to purchase them here in our first year. So we'll skip out on that idea. And here we are. Perfect timing. Quad track is at the field. While he finishes unfolding, let's go ahead and jump in. Let's get his speed up where we need it to be. Make sure he's raising late and dropping early. I guess he can return to the start afterwards. Not a big deal either way, but you know, is fine for him to do that. We'll do 2 headlands. They both can have smooth corners. Generate that course, and again, this is on field 29, which is that huge cornfield we harvested last time. So this guy's going to be running for quite some time, but it'll be just fine to have him doing that while we work away in the background. Let's see how he gets on with his first corner. Gets up to speed. And I'm hoping the quad track's got enough power to pull that plow. You can get up to speed. So 15 miles an hour isn't terrible. Love to see a little more speed out of him. But I think that may be all we get. So while he's doing that, I'm going to jump back over and check in with the Fent. He's in the perfect spot for the next thing we're going to talk about. These are the trees we drove by in the beginning of the episode. I'm going to go ahead and pull those out. I'm going to drop a sawmill and put those into the sawmill. Maybe we'll produce some planks. Maybe we'll just sell the wood. But I like the option of being able to do something with a sawmill with these. So I will jump back in with you guys when I made some progress and have an update. Wanted to give you guys a quick update. We've got the fence still making great passes on our mega field. I've got about half the trees cleared out from between the two fields we're trying to combine. And as expected, the Deutz is struggling a little bit with that plow. I'm going to have to reset it a couple of times, but it's making progress. It's almost 70% of the way done, so we're getting close. I'm going to keep working on these trees and keep the machines running, and I'll check back in with you guys at the end. You have to love when a plan comes together. This is the very last tree from between those two fields. The Deutz just finished up the cultivating or the plowing contract, which gave us the funds to buy the next field, and the Fent just finished plowing up the other two fields. So we are set to move on to the next step. So if we jump into the menu here and pick up the plowing contract that's completed, we can then jump over to the PDA, and as you can see, the fields have been plowed together. We removed all the trees between. We have a bunch of rocks in there now we're gonna have to go pick up. And field 10 we can now afford to purchase, so we go ahead and purchase that, and then we jump into the Fent, and as you can see, the tree line has been completely removed. So we don't want to replow that field we just had. So I'm going to combine field 10 and field 11 and just plow those up, and then manually we'll join those together after the fact. So if we jump in here, turn on create field, go ahead and lower that down, we can just combine these two right here. And I'm wondering if I'm going to have to paint over it first to get the plow to take so that the game recognizes it as one field. But we'll run over it once first and just see if we can do it the easy way. If not, I'll come back and do the painting and then just replow, because it's just this little strip in between the fields that we want to get cleaned up. And there are stones popping up, so it's possible that we're getting these fields combined. We're almost down here to the end. We're gonna have to, oh, maybe we can do this one facing this way. Let's see. Can we get that combined in here? That's not too bad. And the Fent pulls itself out. This is a great tractor. So if I turn off create fields, get him lined up towards the edge of the field over here, I'm wondering if that was enough for us to be able to plow these as one field. Let's take a look and see if that's going to be the case. It is. It recognizes it as one field right off the bat, so that's great news. Go ahead and create that course. All created. Get the Fent rolling, head into the contract, and as I said, when this portion's done, we will go plow these fields together. So we have our sort of northern and southern fields at this point. We'll plow that area between them, making it one field, and have one giant field to start stone picking. Make sure he gets out of the water. Okay, great. While he's working there, let's go ahead and get back into the Deutz. Take him back to the farm. And I just want to monitor the case we have running on field 29 with the cultivator. We're at 28%. I want to make sure that he's still making progress. Haven't checked in on him in a little bit. So once we get the Deutz parked, maybe we'll run over there and just check in and make sure he's on track. Because I expect by now he should have surpassed 28%. I'm wondering if he got off course somewhere, tangled up in a tree. Who knows? We'll figure that out here soon enough. So the Deutz did an okay job. I did have to reset it about 5 times. It's a medium-sized tractor. That's a big plow pulling lots of weight. It just isn't the right tractor for the plow, but we have our Fent running our new cultivator, so there weren't a lot of options in regards to what we could do to get that contract done. So we had the funds to buy that field, so just made it work. We'll drop the weight over here. Let's go ahead and get the plow placed back over against the wall where it belongs. Gonna have to do a little bit of neatening up in this shed before long with the extra equipment we've been picking up, so we'll go ahead and lower the plow, disconnect it, and we are free of all of our implements. So we'll leave this guy here, and let's check in on the quad track's doing a good job. Oh, we're up to 30%, so it was just a little slow to update. So he's making good progress on the field. Like I said, this is just a huge field, so we're going to let him keep plugging away in the background. Once the Fent is done plowing those fields, I'll bring you guys back in for plowing the two fields together. Maybe we'll do a quick flyover of the farm. We haven't done that yet, and we've made some nice modifications and changes. Might be nice to sort of get a full picture of where we are and what we own, see how big that field is. I think that field's going to be very, very large and a great addition to our farm in regards to being able to get more corn, use our corn dryer, and generate a lot more funds. Before we head out, though, it is worth checking the pricing on some of our crops to see. Typically, you know, if you look on the right-hand side, you look at the maximum month, if it says the best price is in January, quite frequently the best price is actually at the end of December before you actually get to January. And as we are in December now, it's probably worth keeping an eye on that. So our dry corn maxes out at 505. It's at 457. It has climbed a little bit since this morning and is continuing to climb, so we'll watch that. We also have our oat, which we've just been hanging on to. It's at 652, so actually the best price was 643, so we need to go sell the oat like right now. Sorghum, the best price is 524. It's at 521, so we're close. We should definitely keep an eye on that. And then the soybeans are not good until July, so we don't have to worry about that right now. And as you can see, I put in a little sawmill over behind the corn dryer just to hold the wood. We're not even doing anything with it yet, but we do have 176,000 liters of wood. I had a couple of small trees I removed from around our workshop when I was creating the auto drive chorus to park the trucks and the trailers and just needed a little more space. Plus all those trees we just removed from between the two fields we're combining. So we have a lot of wood. I'm wondering, you know, maybe after we go sell, what was it, the oat, that maybe we'll go look at that sawmill and get that started, and we can sell some pallets of planks over the winter, because we're certainly seeing a pretty significant drop off in contracts already today. And as we get into January and February, it's going to be even worse for us as far as being able to make some money. So I'm going to jump over into our TLX, which is parked in our shed. So let's see if we can get in here and figure out. It should be this one right here. And let's connect up to the trailer and grab our oat. And I think we need to take that to a sell point. I'm not a really big fan of selling at the train. We'll check out the different prices of the different locations and see if it's close with the train and, you know, maybe one of the grain sell points. We might just run up to the grain sell point. I always feel like you're waiting a long time for the train. It just never seems like a great selling experience. So maybe we can get here, get situated. May have to jump in and out to get it to register. Well, let's take a look and see if we're underneath or not. Looks like our tarp closed. All right, oat, that's what we want. So we have our oat filling into our trailer. The price on the oat here, it is $6.43. Omaha's got to be the train. The other locations, you know, it is actually, it's about $3,000 more to sell to Omaha. The cost of the train's going to be just a couple $100. So maybe we try to figure out how to get it onto the train. So let's see. The train should be all the way down in this bottom corner, I believe. We have the train rent here. So it goes into the Viterra buy-sell station. I think if I remember correctly, let's take a quick look. I think these are labeled, right? So we have sell, store, and load. So loading would bring it down that pipe and into our truck from the train silo. Storing seems like where we'd want to put it to output to the train. And then our train call area. So there's the train fill. Oh, I don't see train tracks going in there. That's interesting. Where is the train? Rent the train. It says rent the train is right here. Oh, maybe I have my markers turned off. Let's jump in and turn those on real quick. Yeah, so we do call the train from right here. Can we get over the fence? We can get over the fence. I'm a little concerned this area doesn't actually have train tracks. There are train tracks over here, but I don't see how the train would get over here. So maybe this part of the map wasn't fully flushed out before release. That makes me just a little bit nervous in regards to putting our stuff in there and whether that train's going to work or not. And I don't want to risk losing that money. So I think what we'll do is jump back in here. The next best price for oats is going to be, and I wish this time-saving stock check is a great mod. I do wish it would account for the crops and goods you have in or on your truck. So like pallets on your flatbed and, you know, loose crops like our oats in our trailer. I don't know how hard that would be from a modder standpoint. I'm not a modder, so I don't know if that's a really complicated thing to do. But, you know, we're using this great mod to check out the price, and then we put it in the trailer and all of a sudden it's gone. We got to jump over here and find it on the other side. Not a big deal, just be a nice quality of life feature. So the best price is the AGI MFS Missouri River Bottom, which is actually, I'm sorry, that's not true. The best is Omaha. Then there's AGI MFS River Bottom at 634. That's going to be the other best price. So let's tag that and jump back over to the PDA and see where that might be. Is that going to be on the top corner of the map? We haven't been up there very much. I'm not sure where that is, guys. That is... Are they telling me that the best sale price is at our silo that we own? It sure looks like it. Yeah, so that's not going to work. We can't sell it to ourselves. So 626... We also can't sell it at our multi-farm production. So 626 at the bale sales or 626 at the Viterra. Those are both heading up. So maybe we give it a little bit more time. Check back in at the end of the episode and see about selling when the price is a little bit better. So for right now, let's head back over to the farm. I think it's worth doing a quick flyover just so you guys can see, you know, what we've done, where we are, you know, and get caught up and get a picture, because we've made a lot of progress. That's a really cool shadow coming off the corn dryer there. That's really nice. Let's turn off our truck. All right. So our farm as it stands right now. So we own all of this. This is the field that we just put in. Here's the area between the two fields that we're going to be plowing together. And we own, this is going to be one giant field. We have our cow barn over here with its pasture we had to put in. We have our two sheds here. that we put in for our implements, which we're going to continue to fill. That cow barn looks really nice back there in the background, doesn't it? It's a good fit. That river meandering down the side, and then we have our cold storage shed with our productions on the back side. So here we've got our farm production silo where we're going to produce our seeds and potentially someday silage or TMR. We have our lime production next to that. Heading up to the front of the farm, we have our farmhouse that we just came out of. We have our workshop over there on the right with most of our trucks parked in it. And then we have our silo and corn drying system right there in the middle. And over here, this little thing on the outside edge, here is the sawmill that I put in. So right now it's holding 176,000 liters of the wood we've cut down. Maybe we'll turn that on and set that up and start hauling some pallets to sell points over the winter to keep the money in. But that's our farm. So this is we have a really nice setup. Trying to see if I can get almost all of it into the window here. So we're gonna have one really, really big field when this is all said and done. So all the way down there to all the way up here, and that's going to be all corn. And I suspect, guys, that when it comes time to harvest that much corn, we may want more than one harvester running. So we may have to keep our eyes open in this sale for an additional harvester, pick up another corn header, and get really a production level corn harvest going, because we had about 750,000 liters of corn in the corn dryer between our contracts in that field last time. We're adding the soybean field, adding field 10. I suspect we're going to be well over 1 million liters next year just on our own property, if not even maybe 1.5 million. So we'll be in really good shape. So, all right, I'm going to check in on the quad track and our Fendt, make sure they're on track to keep going with their work. And I will grab you guys as we begin to wrap up the episode here towards the end. Everything's running on track and as expected. I'm going to put the rest of this field on a time lapse, and when we come back after the time lapse, we'll be joining our northern and southern fields together into the mega field. That is the final pass of the new southern field. And now we need to go around, clean up a couple of edges, combine this with the other northern field, and be on our way. So I know just from watching where this guy was going around, we have an edge down here where the two fields right before they meet that needs to be cleaned up a little bit. Our cultivating contract over on field 29 is going well. We're at 65% down there. Yeah, I think this little edge right here that sort of sticks out, we should just go ahead and zip that down. Smooth that out for the harvester. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I think that'll be better. That grass will go away when we seed everything in. So now we get to combine this northern field and the southern field. So we'll start at this end, run down to the end. I think we got to tie in the edge on the other end just a little bit, but we should be pretty good to go. And that's going to wrap up this episode. I'll probably complete the other cultivating contract off camera while this other one finishes. Get everything ready for next episode, where I think we'll start with getting this big mega field, get the stone picking done, getting it all limed. Whenever you combine a field, you're going to have sections that need lime. And I always find it better just to do all the lime at once and just get the field all on the same cycle for the lime so you don't have to worry about it later. So we'll get the field limed, we'll get the field stone picked, and go from there, and we should be in really, really good shape. So I'm excited to see what this field brings for us in the upcoming season, and just getting into some big farming. I'm a fan of big open fields, lots of big equipment, running multiple implements at the same time, and this is going to be our first adventure into some big maps, some big field farming here on Missouri River Bottom. So as we tie this in here, you know, we are just putting the finishing touches on this field, and all of our work today has come together and paid off here at the end. So thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to drop a like and turn on notifications for more videos, and I will see you in the next one.